Hi, my name is Brooke Lipman, and this is Wine Together, a podcast where we drink wine and have a chat. So sit back, relax, and get that corkscrew ready. Okay, so I'm gonna introduce you. So this week for our guest, because it's the end of the month, we have my brother Mason. Unfortunately, Dr. Deb is not able to be with us today, so it's just me and Mason.
Hello.
Oh, okay, got it.
You got an oofy?
I do. I'm very excited.
Should I show what I'm drinking now?
Huh?
Should I show what I'm drinking?
Sure. I mean, it's on the Instagram and the Facebook, so
Yeah, I'm drinking Danger Zone IPA, which I
nice.
picked up because it has Sterling Archer's face on it.
Nice. Do you have
Uh,
do you know anything about it?
I did try it. I did look it up. So it's a collaboration between Solace Brewing Company in Dulles, Virginia, and Ocelot Brewing Company. They might also be Dulles. They might also be they're from around here.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find anything about this specific beer on either website. So I think they're probably either, changed the name or formula or, aren't making it anymore. So
Yeah. Yeah, it
maybe they'll
might be
make it
like
again soon. But there
yeah.
was no information other than here, I'll tell you what this says. It's a brewed with Strata and Citra hops. I don't know what Strata is, but Citra, I assume, is citrusy.
Interesting.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know that much about Oofy. I know that it is very localized to Solitern because the
Yeah,
number in Solitern is 11 because of all
11
that.
Canton.
Okay.
No other place uses Canton as a their word, right? For
Huh.
county. No other place uses the word canton
I
like
think
Switzerland does. Who else? What other countries use that?
who else uses Canton? Um, Mom's telling me stuff, so.
I thought she couldn't be on the podcast.
She
What is she doing over there if she doesn't want to be on the show?
she's reading. She's not feeling well. Yeah. Well, Mom, like, cause I don't know if you it's yeah, but that's not
Yeah,
the
I know.
question he
She told
asked.
me about what she's been
He
dealing
was
with.
asking if like why if anyone
Excuse me.
other countries use Canton other than Switzerland.
Well, if you don't know, it's okay.
Yeah. And Mom says she thinks so, but she doesn't know. But
You
yeah,
know
she
what's funny?
huh.
Uh, like Louisiana, you know what they call their counties?
What?
They're called parishes. Like they don't use the
Oh,
word county;
yeah.
they use the word parish.
Yeah, I've
I guess
definitely
because of their
heard that.
Catholic, like French Catholic history. I don't know. I think that's
I
cool though.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, it's like how there's a lot of states, like I think most of the original 13 colonies, they're not actually states, they're commonwealths.
Yeah, the Commonwealth of
Yeah.
Virginia
Yeah,
and
Massachusetts too.
Massachusetts.
Yeah. Actually, I think Rhode Island might also be a commonwealth.
Commonwealth of two people.
I know. It is. I mean, I've heard from people in Massachusetts and people from Rhode Island say that Rhode Island is just Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's just more
Yeah.
Massachusetts with more taxes or
Yeah,
less
pretty
taxes. I
much.
don't know. Oh
Um,
yeah, the other thing I'm drinking
mhm.
to pad these out because there's only four danger zones in the pack.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I also have Stella Artois.
Oh, nice.
I love the little thin cans it comes in.
Yeah,
Okay, beer.
I'm iffy on Stella. It's not my
Yeah,
favorite, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's not bad. I was walking out the store and I realized that 4 beers isn't gonna be. I'm gonna need, to pad these 4 beers out with something. So let me get something
Yeah.
else. And these were kind of cheap. Plus, like I said, I like the skinny cans.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Anyways, I also have the best cup in the world, Simpsons cup, with every
Nice.
character, or a lot of characters.
Yeah. Have you heard of the play Mr. Burns?
No, is it about Mr. Burton, Monty Burns?
Sort of. So it's kind of about the I don't know if it's just necessarily the US, but the world, it's like an apocalyptic world. And people are like in the first act, because there's 3 acts. And the first act, the people are kind of like recounting like happy memories, and they bring up The Simpsons, and they're like remembering their the episodes of The Simpsons around a campfire. And then in the second act, it's like many years later, and
Mhm.
they're reacting because there's no television anymore. So they're acting out the episodes like from their own memory in like a
Right.
theater space.
That's
And
fun.
then in the third act, it's well, like thousands of years in the future. And people are remembering those people that acted out the episodes, but
That's
they're
interesting.
doing it like it's
They're like,
Simpsons episodes, but it's like all like mixed up and like things are changed. It's kind of like a big game of telephone,
yeah, over
but
thousands
yeah,
of years.
yeah.
That's cool. I like that. I like how, especially because like the context will change the meaning of everything in there.
Mhm.
It reminds me of remember that movie Rain of Fire from
Mm,
2002? There,
no, I
it's
have
like
not seen that.
it's like apocalyptic.
Mhm.
It's like it's kind of a stupid premise, but it's like dragons are real and they like come back or whatever, or they wake
Yeah,
up and they take over the world, and so it's like apocalyptic, but in the apocalypse or whatever, they're just surviving in this like little tower, and
yeah.
they don't have movies or TVs or anything. I don't know why, but and so instead they have like the two main guys who
Mhm.
are Christian Bale and Gerard Butler, like acting out Star Wars for the little kids, and like that's like their like bedtime
Mhm.
stories or whatever. They
Yeah,
like do like one scene a night, and they're like, oh, tomorrow we'll continue. It's kind of interesting. It's also
yeah,
funny to see Christian Bale and Gerard Butler be Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. And
yeah.
maybe Hollywood should think about that.
Yeah, sorry. Dad is texting me.
What? Doesn't he know you're doing a podcast? He'd have to edit that out.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he watches it actually.
Well, I mean, just because who wants to watch you on your phone?
I know. I can, because I'm wearing an Apple Watch now.
Yeah,
I
mark
can
down the times for when
like
you need to
huh?
mark down times for when you need to edit stuff.
Yeah. Well, I could, but I can also like reply to text messages on my watch.
That still looks like you're replying to text messages
But yeah, what was I gonna say? I don't know. It's
about
okay.
The
Okay.
Simpsons.
I don't know. I actually haven't seen that much of The Simpsons because I mean, it obviously like most of its run was, before I was born, and then like when I was very little. And then I never
Yeah,
really had like a way to watch it as I grew up. And
yeah.
also like well, now it's on like Disney
It's
Plus,
not.
of
I
course.
mean, yeah, you can watch it on Disney Plus if you
Yeah.
have that. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's funny. I mean, people say that it got bad before I was born in
Hmm.
1995,
Hmm.
but I disagree. I think there's still some good episodes into the
Yeah.
2000s, but yeah, the more recent ones are kind of. I mean, they're
Mhm.
not all bad, but there's some stinkers in there. And of
Yeah.
course, it's very weird to see new episodes and like Homer's on like Twitter or whatever, and it's like
Yeah.
that just doesn't feel right.
Hold on. Wait, you did something and then your like lighting got like really
Yeah, I
weird?
think it's probably the clouds. I don't know.
Okay. Is there a possibility you can move your camera like down a little bit?
What, like that?
Yeah. Cause yeah, that's good. Cause I realized like I have to cut out the bottom just a little bit.
Okay.
when I edit the episode, so it doesn't have like the Zoom information on the bottom.
I mean, I think it'd be fine if it had the name on the bottom. I mean,
Yeah,
people
but
can know we're
mine
doing this on Zoom.
Yeah, but mine has like moms and it's like a whole long thing and then it
Oh
puts
yeah,
the
fair enough.
date on it and the time and it's like
Yeah.
so but
Wonder if Zoom has settings where you can change that.
I looked into it and I couldn't find any, but it did just update today on my computer, so maybe they have that as a new thing, but I'll look into that some other
You
time.
can change the backgrounds,
Yes, you can.
which I'm not gonna try and. I haven't used Zoom very much, to be honest.
Yeah. I haven't used it since freshman year of college. Well, that's not
Yeah.
true. Like I use it mostly freshman year of college. I use it a little bit during school because we no longer got snow days
Right.
because
Yeah.
of
It's the
COVID.
unfortunate thing about doing online learning, which I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure no one's ever learned anything online. I
I
don't
mean,
think it's possible.
I didn't have a
Not
hard
in that
time with
setting.
it. I had a fine time with it. Like it wasn't too much of a problem for me, but I do understand like a lot of people do struggle with it.
The only online class I ever took, well, I'm trying to think. I took one online class in college, and I did all of the work after it was due and passed with a D plus. So literally in one afternoon, I did everything for the entire
Yeah.
class, and it was literally after it was
Yeah.
all due. And I'd email
Yeah.
my professor, and I was like, "I know we haven't talked the entire semester, but I have done the work, and I'm gonna real willing to turn it in." And they were
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, whatever. This is a health class. I don't know why this exists." It was really stupid.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, a lot of the classes, because I mean, I had to, because it was my entire first semester of college. So I like had to
Pretty awful.
learn online, which it wasn't terrible because I was doing it in like everyone was up at 8 a.m. and I was up, it was 2 p.m. here. So I was like, yeah, it's fine. The
Unless,
only, sorry, what?
no, go ahead.
Oh, okay. The only issue was we had to do work your craft, which is like online theater, and I had to be up at 4 a.m. for that.
Jeez, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why for him?
Well, I mean, it was really more like 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. because it was afternoons in the US.
Oh, you were in Switzerland?
Yeah, I was still here for my first semester. And then,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that is weird.
yeah.
That would suck. That
Yeah,
sounds annoying.
it
I'm
wasn't
usually up
terrible.
at 2 a.m. anyway, so
Hmm.
although I've been trying to sleep earlier,
Yeah,
especially since got a lot going on the past few
yeah,
days.
yeah. I mean, the only issue I had was like my dance classes. That was really tough to do online.
Yeah, I don't see how that would even be possible. I mean, like
Yeah,
even like you can record yourself, and I'm sure this is what you did. You record yourself and send it in. And they're like, oh, great or whatever. Or
I
it's
mean,
like how much
I actually,
feedback? How much can they really like help you improve
I
over
mean,
video?
because the only dance class I had my first semester was ballet. So
Yeah,
that one, like we had to do it like over Zoom. And so I
yeah.
would be out in the like living room area, like in between the kitchen and the like other space, living room slash dining area.
Living the general purposes area.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was strange. Like, it was tough not being able to get corrections, like hands-on corrections. But even like after I went back in person, we couldn't get hands-on corrections anymore because of COVID. So, yeah.
Oh, you were still doing online when you went back.
No, it wasn't online, but like in dance, you typically get like physical
Oh,
corrections to
right.
like
So they were doing
help you
social
show.
distancing.
Yeah. And so we couldn't get that because of COVID and like restrictions and stuff.
The social distancing thing was really funny because
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, it was very much like, oh, stand 6 feet apart. But
Hmm.
at the same time, we were being told, and I guess maybe with masks it
Hmm.
works, but like, and at least I learned this in like high school. When you like cough,
Hmm.
your particles go out like 10 feet in front of you.
Yeah, they can
This
go
is
pretty
like,
far. I think it goes even farther when you sneeze, right?
yeah, yeah, because it's like, 100
Mhm.
miles an
Yeah.
hour of force, and those particles are
Yeah.
really tiny. They go,
Yeah.
and so like 6 feet, and maybe with a mask, you're
Mhm.
just shooting it back into your own lungs, which is probably good, right? Like
Yeah. Uh,
I saw there's a guy, it's so funny when people like the masks are funny now because it's very much a thing. It's no longer about anyone's health. It's about like, oh, if you're sick, you can still come into work, just wear a mask. And it's
yeah.
like, so people do that, but then they like this guy at work yesterday. I don't know why he was wearing a mask. I didn't ask because
Mhm. Yeah.
it's like a weird question. So, but he's wearing one of the like N95 masks, so like
Yeah.
cardboard, like real masks. But he
Yeah.
had it like pulled down below his nose.
Oh my gosh, I hate when
But
people
like,
do that.
and it's one thing when it's like just the surgical mask and just
Yeah.
whatever, wear it as a chin diaper. But it's like one of those hard masks. So the dude
Yeah.
had to like bend it and like
Yeah.
fold it and pinch it so that it would go under his nose. And it's like, just don't wear a mask.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. I don't care. Get me sick. Whatever. Like it just seems like really uncomfortable to do that for no reason at all.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, I know. I mean, like, I haven't recently because I haven't been like sick at all recently, but last year, right after my graduation, I was getting like a cold, like I was coughing a lot. And we went to a museum in Boston. It was Dad, Ren, and I. When were you still? No, you hadn't, you were not there anymore, right? You had already gone back.
Uh, probably. Yeah, because we came
Yeah.
from Switzerland to your graduation, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think I left.
You went,
Yeah,
oh,
I
because
must
you
have.
you went on the train with Grandma and Grandpa back to DC,
That's
right?
right. That's right. Yeah.
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 So we had gone to, I don't think it was that same day. I don't know, maybe it was, but we had gone into Boston. Okay, Mom
Why does she
keeps
keep
giving
interrupting
me,
you?
yeah, she keeps giving me
Doesn't
information
she know you
about
got to
things
edit
that
this
I
out?
know. Yes, she does.
I mean, come on the podcast if you want to talk.
I told her she's allowed to pop in, but she's really struggling with like moving right now. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
hopefully she feels better.
Yeah, I know. We were waiting for the cardiologist to get in touch with us, which they're obviously not doing for whatever
Yeah, I
reason.
heard that you guys' doctor kind of sucks.
Yeah, oh
Let's
God.
put him on blast. What's his name and address?
I don't
Just
remember, but he is
kidding.
very condescending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's just the Swiss German side of him.
I don't think he's Swiss,
He's a
he's
Swiss
Spanish,
Italian
right?
guy.
This guy?
Oh, is he a
Oh,
Spaniard?
no, this is a different doctor I'm talking about. He's Indian? Oh.
Oh, well, yeah.
Mom
Indians are
said,
hit or
or
miss. They can be good or
Pakistani.
bad. There's a big
Yeah.
country, there's a lot of variety.
Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of interesting. But anyway, what I was saying before about the museum was I was like coughing like pretty crazy, and they had free masks there. And my
Mhm.
only reasoning for wearing the mask was I didn't want to cough on all the artifacts and stuff.
Yeah, and I also feel like nowadays you do kind of get weird looks. Like I still feel paranoid about coughing and sneezing if I'm not wearing a mask,
Yeah,
which is very much a COVID thing. Like
yeah.
because I guess still I don't really think anyone's gonna be like, oh, put on a mask, you're sneezing, coughing. But like if I'm
Mhm.
like coughing in like the grocery store, I always feel like I'm all looking around like nobody's looking at me weird, right?
That might only be a US thing because no one here cares.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think many people here care,
Mhm.
but you do occasionally get the like people who will say like weird shit to you, weird stuff to you.
Yeah,
Um, like yeah, I don't really have an example. It hasn't happened to me, but
mhm. Yeah.
I definitely like see people that like that. There's some people I know that like still wear a mask like everywhere they
Interesting.
go in public, and I'm just like, it seems
Hmm.
exhausting. And it's like,
Yeah.
fine. It's probably smart. Maybe we all should, but
Hmm. I know that I have like
not
a
in America.
collection. I have like a collection of masks because when we went to in person, uh, for college, we were all like, you had to wear a mask every day. If you went outside of your dorm room, even just in the hallway of your dorm, you had to wear a mask. Like,
Yeah.
and like for the showers, it was like as soon as you step out of the shower stall, you had to put the mask back on. It was
That's so
so
silly.
specific. It
Yeah,
was like
that's
that. Is that not the most Massachusetts thing you've ever heard, though? Like
yeah, that's
all the
pretty.
specific rules.
I can see
And,
that being a thing around here too, because people
mhm,
are very much. I
yeah.
call them khaki pants lanyards, folks. That's very much what the vibe is in
Yeah.
like DC, Northern Virginia.
Yeah. You know, like one other thing was like for dance classes we couldn't bring water in because we like had to wear our masks in the
Right,
studio.
you couldn't
And
drink
because we're
water.
also like sweating and like really gross and panting. So you don't want to take the mask off at all. So we had to go out of the room for water and like sometimes we wouldn't get water breaks depending on the
Yeah.
class.
Well,
And
yeah,
so
that's like the thing. It's like, of course, there are going to be people who are like, "No, I'm fine," and then they're going to pass out from dehydration because they
yeah.
don't want to go outside because everybody's kind of lazy.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also like, I mean, I used to like chug water before class and be like, go.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I haven't. That's how I would hydrate rather than like drinking when I need to hydrate. I would just
Mhm.
like drink 32 ounces of water at once.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably not the healthiest thing. I know that I've been like really bad at because I'm supposed to get 2 liters a day of water. And so I have like my big 1 liter water
You have
thing.
a Stanley?
Yes, I do. I have
How much
another
was it?
Stanley. I don't know. This was my graduation present from Ren, so that's a Ren
Oh, oh,
question.
that's right. I remember that. I remember talking about that.
But I have another Stanley thing though. It's a hot mug, and when it kept my coffee like literally steaming hot for 6 hours, I think.
I really want one of those self-heating mugs,
Oh, that
but
sounds
they
nice.
cost like $200.
Oh my God.
There's like in this house, that's just like asking for $200 to get smashed onto the floor or the handle broken.
Yeah,
I assume they're durable though, because I mean,
yeah.
200 bucks.
You'd hope so, but I mean, some of those things are like, eh. But
Yeah, I don't know.
what was I? Oh yeah, so I have a loft bed. Have you seen my? Because this is new, so
No, I haven't
I
seen it.
I have a loft bed now. So
Oh,
if
that's awesome.
I can't chug my water right before I go to bed, or I have to get up in the middle of the night to go pee, and I don't want to do that.
Well, and I just gotta wet the bed, I guess.
Oh gosh, I do have a really nice mattress cover that's pretty
You know
durable,
what you should do
so
now that you have all that room under your bed, you should put a bathroom underneath it.
I mean there is a desk there, so
Okay, you put your desk under there
yeah. Well,
so you
it
can.
came with the desk. It was like that. It
Oh, did you
was
get like a whole new setup? Like
Yeah, it was a kid's bed that was 100 francs at Otto's, and it was like a
oh,
desk with the bed on top
wait,
of
is it
it.
the one that me and Amelia used to have when we were kids?
I think it's very similar to
Also
that.
featured
Yeah.
in season one of Arrested Development, the very same bed.
I haven't seen that show,
Well,
so
if you don't
but
remember the bed that me and Amelia had, the bunk beds that we had, where
mhm.
one went this way and then one like came out,
Oh yeah, no, it's not. I mean,
and then
it's
it
not
had a desk on the
exactly.
side. It was really cool. It had little
Yeah.
cubbies on the. It actually made the bottom bunk kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
nobody
I
wanted the
think
bottom bunk.
I do remember that because didn't we have that in the trailer?
Yeah, actually we did. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think
Um,
we changed it. We might have changed the setup a little bit. Maybe not actually, but yeah, we did.
Yeah,
But it
that
was
was
cool
like
because it had
what,
like a
20
little
some years
desk
ago.
on one side and a little
Yeah.
cubby. That was a horrible time, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, mine has like a little closet on it. And so like I have stuff hanging in the closet and it has like space in it where I put my laundry hamper. So it's actually a really nice
Did
setup.
it save you a lot of space in your room?
Kind of. It saves more space than if I had a bed and a desk separate. So, yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
It is
Yeah, that
really,
makes sense.
yeah. Especially I have a lot of stuff in my room, so it's kind of crazy.
I should get a loft bed,
Oh
but
yeah.
then I would be really close to the ceiling.
Yeah. Well, I have to say it did become a problem because the other day there was this spider that was about this big.
No way.
It was right next to my face,
That's
and
huge.
somehow I
Was it a
did.
huntsman?
It was probably like a wolf spider.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest spider they have in Switzerland, or wolf spider.
Yeah, I'm sending you a pic. I took a
Well, you
picture
don't
of
have to
it.
worry about a wolf spider. It's just like getting bit by a dog. It's not
I
an issue.
know, but it was right next to my face. I'm sending this to you because it's scary. But it's not even the biggest spider that's been in my room. A couple weeks ago, there was a spider that was just a little bit bigger, and it was scary. But I was laying in bed, like I had my computer on, I was about to go to sleep, and I look over and I see like legs on the wall. No, it was scary.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was there, the first couple nights I was it was really nice to have the window cracked, but then I
Mhm.
immediately realized a ton of spiders are getting in here. So
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
started closing
If
the
it's
window.
if it's warm outside, you can't have the window open overnight because the bugs will just like come in.
Yeah, no, like it was like every night I would have to like
Yeah.
I would be like going to sleep and I'd look up and I'd be like, oh, there's like three spiders up there. Great.
Yeah. No, I used to get like these flies and they would get in my ears and like ugh.
Yeah, for whatever reason, your room there gets like swarmed.
It does. It's just like the way it's shaped because it's right next to the balcony, right? So there's more room for the bugs to like come in, and there's that little enclave of
Hmm.
where my like door is to that balcony where they just like get all up in the corners and stuff. So,
I wanted to share something with you. If you hadn't
mm.
seen this already, have you seen the Lego set, the Diagon Alley Lego set?
No.
It looks pretty cool. I saw it at Target the other day, and I was like, that's awesome because it's kind of like it's like this long like
Yeah.
no, it's like a city street.
Yeah.
And at first, I didn't realize what it was. I just saw that it was like a city block, and I was like, "Oh, that is
Yeah.
so cool."
Yeah.
And I was honestly a little bit like, "Oh, it's Harry Potter, whatever."
Yeah.
But I was like, "Oh, Brooke would like that." I
Yes.
mean, I still think
I
it's cool. It's
yeah. I
but
love my Harry Potter Legos.
well, yeah, because I was at first I thought like maybe this is like the I don't know, like all of Hogwarts like spread out, but no, it's
Yeah.
Diagon Alley. It looks really
Yeah.
cool.
Oh my gosh, that one's nice. Have you
You should
did you
get
see
it.
my did you see my London one that I got for Christmas?
No, I haven't seen that.
It's really oh it will take me way too long to
Yeah,
look
don't
that
worry
up.
about it. You can send me it
But
later.
yeah,
I
it's
have seen your Hogwarts one.
yeah, well I have three different Hogwarts ones actually now.
Or one of the ones that you have you
Yeah.
glued any of them together to make them permanent?
Um well, I don't leave them up because I don't have the space to leave them up. So
Okay.
I made
Well, if you
them
glue
like
them together, they're solid. They're
yeah,
not
but
going.
I don't have the place to put them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You can
so
sell them.
no way. I like taking
Well, I
my
guess if you
Legos
like
apart.
building them, then
Yeah.
rebuilding them is
Yeah.
another source of fun.
That's what I like to do with my Legos is I like to take them apart and put them back together. But what I did this year was I built them and then because I always get a Christmas tree in my room.
Yeah.
So I like put them in front of my Christmas
Oh,
tree.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you have a train to go around also? Do you have the Hogwarts Express?
No, I wish.
Is that a train set? I'm sure it is.
I'm
Or
sure
Lego
there
set, I
is.
mean.
There is a Lego Hogwarts Express, but I don't think it has the train tracks.
Oh, well, that's weird. I actually almost bought a Lego set the other night.
Nice.
It was a Minecraft Lego set.
Ooh.
I don't know what I don't know what's going on in Minecraft anymore. It seems really complicated. But it was like a house, it was like a fox
Mm,
house. And the
okay.
house was shaped like a giant fox. And I was like,
Mhm.
that seems worth 20 bucks. I didn't get
Yeah.
it, but I might.
Yeah.
I might.
You know, the annoying thing about Minecraft is like if you get a new computer, you can't build on your old worlds, even on the same account.
You used to be able to.
I
Really?
had built, yeah, I
You
was trying
I think
to,
there's a way. I think have you looked this up? Like tried to have you done any Google searching on this?
not really,
Because I
but I
think there's a
logged
way.
into the account because I had built an entire, almost finished Camp Half-Blood on Minecraft on my old
I remember.
computer. And then I got this new computer and now I can't work on it and I'm so sad.
Well, the old way to do it was the saves, and this might not be true because this
Mhm.
was like maybe even pre Microsoft, but the
Mhm.
old way to do it, you'd have to go into the like go to your search bar on your Windows, type in like app data or something, find the
Mhm.
Minecraft like I don't know data files, and then in there were that's where the world saves were, and then you could just copy and paste those basically onto or
Okay.
like I don't know. I mean, you could transfer them over because I have done it before, not
Mhm.
recently,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I
Well, I mean,
wish I could.
I don't know if it would be different though, because I would be transferring from Microsoft to Apple.
Nah, it'd probably be fine if it's even
Yeah.
still works that way, but maybe it's a good opportunity to start over.
I had worked so hard. I
We
had
should
everything except for the big house, which is like the main house. Like it was the last thing I was gonna work on in that world
we
was
should buy a
that.
realm. We should buy a realm together.
That would be fun. I don't have any money though.
Or better yet, I have a realm that I'm a part of that I can invite you to.
Ooh, that would be fun.
And as long as you don't destroy anybody's stuff, you can build whatever.
That'd be awesome. I don't have to like
Yeah.
fight off monsters, do I? Because I can't do that.
You can, I think in that one you can change. Yeah, that one is creative, so
Okay,
you can,
good.
you know,
Yeah.
they built it. We started it as survival years ago, and
Hmm.
I've built a few things on there, but like they've built some crazy stuff. They built like a whole
Gosh,
town, and like with
nice.
all this different stuff that they've added
Hmm.
in. Somebody built like a really cool, like it looks like the world tree in Avatar, kind of, but like it's like
Oh,
this
nice.
giant tree structure that goes
Yeah.
way up into the air, and it's got all these rooms. It's really cool. They've done some cool stuff.
Oh my gosh, nice. Yeah, okay. We should probably actually talk about the topic we were gonna talk
Yeah,
about.
what is our topic of the day?
Our
I've just been riffing because I don't know what you're I don't know how the podcast. I've only listened to one episode of the podcast.
Okay, yeah, we usually have, I mean, when we have guests on, we typically like go a little bit off, no, I don't want to say off kilter, that's not the right word, but like, yeah, I don't know. But like when we had M on, Mom and M talked about Rochester for like 30 minutes, and I had to be like, okay, we gotta talk about the topic.
Well, you know,
But
it's probably an interesting place.
yeah.
What's the topic? Does the episode have a title?
I haven't titled it yet. I usually do that afterwards, like at the last minute when I go to put it on everything.
I think the
Um
topic should be Minecraft and Legos.
that would be really good. But we said we were going to talk about our interesting college experiences.
Oh yeah, that's right. College time, college boys. I love yeah. Insert Asher Roth. I love college. That song. Put that song in there.
That would be good. Well, I can make that the title because my titles are usually like pop culture references. Like recently they've been like better. I've been getting
Oh
really good
yeah.
at the titles now.
Okay, yeah. I haven't looked recently, but
Hmm.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
Except for
well
our
you
Easter episode. That was Happy Easter, but
happy Easter. Oh man, Easter. Yeah, what'd you guys do for Easter?
we just talked for about almost 30 minutes about Easter. Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
What about Easter? Like the religious part or the the
Just like the traditions and stuff. So, yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. We
Well,
didn't
you should
actually
start.
do anything on Easter, so,
Yeah. Didn't celebrate.
No, because mom's not been feeling well, so.
Yeah. Well, you should start by talking about your college.
Yeah, I mean, I did
Interesting
have
college experience.
I had a very less than normal college experience
Right, because of
because,
COVID.
yeah, I mean, it was like COVID started as I was graduating from high school. So, like 2 months before I graduated from high school, everything got locked down. And that was very strange. Like, I was already homeschooled, so the only thing different was I couldn't go to dance classes,
Yeah.
which was fine. Like I was already at the beginning they hadn't even shut it down when I was just like I can't do this because when I go to classes, the train is way too crowded and I was not comfortable taking a 2 hour train ride back and forth on like a super crowded train. And
Yeah.
then at the end of that week they were like we're going to like not have classes for a while, like we don't know how long. And so then when I started college, right before we were leaving to go to the US to get me like moved in and stuff, they said we're gonna go all online for a semester,
Yeah.
which was very strange.
So you hadn't gone over to the US yet.
Not yet. We were like a
Didn't.
week before we were supposed to go to Virginia Beach.
Well, at least I let you know in time.
Yeah, we did get
Because
it.
you stayed in Switzerland for that semester.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't really have too much else
Did
place to
you?
go.
Yeah. Did you know of anybody else who was doing their stuff remotely? Was anyone at that campus at your
No.
college campus? Okay, so everybody was
No.
remote.
Yeah, there was nobody at the campus. I know there was a couple students in Hong Kong that were doing
Okay.
classes. So like they had their classes like in the middle of the night, which is crazy.
Yeah, that sounds. I do think I remember talking to you about this and asking
Mhm.
like how many like other people are like really really far away.
Yeah, I mean, there were people just like in other parts of the US. I know there were people in California that had classes at 6 a.m. Um, right? Like
Still,
that's
Hong Kong is that would be annoying.
yeah. I mean, well, I guess you could like get up and do your classes early in the morning and then you sleep for the rest of the day.
I guess, yeah.
But I had a really interesting time because most of my classes didn't end too badly because my advisor, she worked really hard because like she knew that I was in a different time zone. She worked really hard to make a schedule that wasn't gonna be going into the middle of the night or like early in the morning.
Yeah,
So that was really nice. So that was the one time that I actually really enjoyed having classes back to back because it
yeah,
was like, oh, this isn't, terrible when I had to do that on campus though.
yeah.
Different
Well,
story.
then you have to get,
Yeah.
from class to class and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, we had 10 minutes because I would go from like dance classes to regular classes to another dance class to a regular class. And so I would have 10 minutes to change and I definitely was always sweaty going to classes. And so my senior year, I actually brought snacks with me to different classes because
That's
like
smart.
most of the professors were like, yeah, we don't really care if you eat in class.
Well, that's pretty chill.
Yeah.
That's certainly not what I would say was my experience as far as eating in class.
Yeah. I
Although I didn't
mean,
really try that often.
yeah, well, we also, because Dean is kind of more known for its dance and theater programs, so they knew they
Right.
had students that were going back-to-back classes
They're
that were like dance classes and stuff.
right, yeah. They're very accommodating of youth
Yeah.
theater kids.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
Except for Richard Belzer, apparently.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. When we learned that Richard Belzer died, actually, I think I wasn't on
Yeah, they
campus.
should put a statue of him on Dean College campus.
I think there's a plaque for him.
That's
uh,
awesome.
but I was actually going to a show with one of my, actually were we no, we weren't roommates yet, but one of my roommates from last year because it was junior year when he passed away. We were off campus in New Bedford, which I don't know if you know where that is.
Uh I know the name because either from just being in Massachusetts,
Mhm.
I don't know. I know the name, but I don't remember. I don't think I've been there, but I know the name. It
Yeah,
sounds familiar.
it's where all the people who have vacation homes in Martha's Vineyard live.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
all the rich people live down there. It's not super far from Rhode Island, I don't think, but it's about 15 minutes. No, maybe it was longer than that. Maybe it was 30 minutes from Dean. Um,
Yeah.
but we were going to a show and we were walking around the town because we had a little bit of time because we weren't sure how long it was going to take to get there because traffic in Massachusetts is terrible. And I got a notification on my phone. I don't know if it was a text message from someone that said that Richard Belzer had died. And I was like, Jackie, he died. And I'm pretty sure Jackie didn't even know who I was talking about.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
I think like the next day was a Monday and I think we had a moment's silence for him or something.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Truly one of the most unique actors to ever like do the job.
Oh yeah.
Could you imagine if somebody else did that? Like, because his
I
whole thing was like he'd show up on set and he'd be like, "Yeah, by the way, I'm playing Detective John Munch." And
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, like he just
okay, Rich. Okay, Richard.
even in The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt,
Well,
I
yeah.
guess he played Richard Belzer as John Munch as Richard Belzer.
He was also again a reference to Arrested Development. He was in an episode of that, but they didn't ever specify. Maybe they did specify his character being named John Munch, but I'm
Did
not
he own
sure.
a bar in Baltimore?
No, he was like the bit was funny. He was like a CIA guy, like doing like an art therapy class to trick people into admitting to like treason or whatever. It's pretty funny. But
Okay.
but yeah, such a good actor. So
Oh yeah.
funny that he was able to just play the same character over and over again.
Yeah. I that's just oh my
That's
gosh.
really cool. I mean, I don't like it feels like something out of like Shakespeare, like
Mhm.
literal
Yeah.
Shakespeare. When Shakespeare was alive, like a guy would just be like, "No, I am the character. I
Yeah.
am Othello or whatever." It's like,
Well, I mean, that's the thing in like when in the troops, like in Shakespeare's troupe, they had the same people that played the same characters. It
Right.
like over and over, so it didn't matter like what day it was or anything. Like there was no understudies or anything. You always played your one character. So,
Here, Portostella, the perfect pour.
did you like
Uh,
mix them?
no, I just poured. I drank my
Okay,
danger.
I wasn't sure.
I
I was
finished
like, that
that.
might be interesting.
No, I didn't rinse it out though, so there's a little film of danger zone at the
It's
bottom
okay.
probably.
Have
But
you have you ever had to pour a Guinness from a can?
probably. I don't know why. Does it do something weird?
Yeah, so they put these little nitrogen balls in the
Oh yeah,
cans
I've
and
had
it
to do it.
explodes everywhere. You have to
I've
do it
never
like
had that.
super fast. I mean, well, we
Huh.
usually have them laying down because we don't have a place to stand them up in the fridge.
Yeah.
So we like we'll pick them up and then like
Well,
open them. So
I don't know. Now that I think about it, I don't know if I've ever had Guinness from a can
yeah.
specifically, but I know what you're talking about because there's this
Mhm.
other beer I like called like
Mhm.
Boddington's Pub Ale. Have you had that one? It's
I don't think
decent,
so.
but it also has the nitrogen ball in the can or
Okay.
whatever that is.
Yeah.
It has a little shaky thing in there. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I think like I know that Guinness started it. It's actually really smart. It keeps it really fresh. Right.
Yeah.
Like
Do you know the thing about Guinness's like land deed on their factory? They have a lease for like 1,000 years or something like that.
I feel like I did know that, but
Yeah,
that is an interesting
interesting
thing
fact.
to know. I feel like that's something I should have learned when I was in England, even though I didn't go to
Yeah,
Ireland. I should have.
yeah.
Uh, which,
Apparently, the Guinness Book of World Records started because of people hanging out at like pubs in Ireland, or maybe not in Ireland, but like pubs and like drinking Guinness and being like,
mhm.
or just drinking whatever, and being like, yeah, well, I bet like just pub talk basically, just like
Yeah.
making shit up. And so somebody at Guinness was like, I'm gonna fact check you on that, and
Yeah.
like started like taking down like records of
Yeah.
people's like nonsense that they said at
Yeah.
pubs, and then it became like a book. I don't know if that's true. I feel like I heard that on YouTube
Um, I
recently.
know I know I looked it up. And actually, the funny thing about that is I looked it up when I was at a bar in Boston, I'm pretty sure. Uh,
That could be a record.
right. Well, I had because like Guinness is
Most
so
times,
expensive in Boston. It shouldn't be. It should be cheaper in Boston, just saying.
maybe they price it by the alcohol content.
Maybe. But I mean there's a lot of Irish people in Boston though.
Irish people,
Yes, Irish people,
they're just
sorry. My
Americans.
bad. Irish people. But anyway, we were talking about college.
Yeah, college.
Yeah, that place. But yeah, no, I mean, I feel like I had a very different college experience from like everyone else in our family just because
It's
I
pretty unique.
also yeah, like it was I mean obviously because of COVID, but also I got to study abroad for a semester.
Yeah, that's true.
And that was pretty amazing because
In
that
London,
was, yeah. I mean, actually, the reason I applied to Dean was because of their study abroad
did you go to
program.
Regent's College?
Yes. Well, it's Regent's University because college is something different in England. They're very specific.
Oh man,
But
I uh I remember wanting to apply to that program back at
yeah,
in 2013
yeah.
when I was at Forsyth Tech.
Hmm.
And it's funny, mom and dad were like, "Oh, it's too expensive." And it's like it
Yeah.
was cheaper than most colleges in America.
Yeah. But I mean, it's still like pretty expensive, but the thing about it, it didn't cost extra for me.
Mhm.
We paid my regular tuition and Dean College paid Regent's University.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
I don't remember I mean yeah, and I mean it was yeah, no, it was really interesting, but that's the reason I chose like I at least applied to Dean was because of that study abroad program because
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't going to have to pay extra to study abroad. And then the reason I ultimately chose Dean was because of one, I got a really good scholarship, and two, because of, being able to study abroad. So
Well, what do you think of London and school in London?
I loved it. I wanna live in London.
Really? You think it's worth it, even having to deal with all those, people who don't know how to speak American?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting pretty good at speaking British.
Yeah, yeah, don't do
I
that. Gross.
I but no, I mean, I've gotten really into football culture, so
Oh, okay, fair enough.
yeah, but the thing is I've only been watching Spanish football, so maybe I should just move to
Is that
Madrid.
because that's your guy is on Real Madrid or who's your
Yeah.
team?
Jude Bellingham? Is that who you're
Yeah,
talking about? Yeah.
yeah. And that's why
Yeah.
you like you. So you only watch one team and one player specifically.
Well, okay,
What position
so
does he play?
he's a midfielder, but actually I started what because I really enjoyed watching him play in the Euros.
Hmm.
And so that's why I started watching Real Madrid. And so I actually did really enjoy watching Real Madrid's team. But I've also, I mean, I watched some Manchester City who, like, I really, I mean, okay, they're a good team, but they're not, uh, I
They're
don't
not the
know. They're
best.
not, yeah, they're not as, I
Well,
mean,
I don't know very much about English Premier League. The team I like
yeah,
in Premier League is Fulham FC, which
okay.
I think they only in the last 10 years made it into the Premier League. I think they used to be below. I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I'm not sure of the history. I
Yeah.
kind of picked them at random back in
Yeah.
college when me and my roommate Mike and our other roommate, or not roommate, but our other friend Justin would
Mhm.
play FIFA. And so we
Yeah.
would just, pick random teams. And for whatever reason, I landed on Fulham FC.
Yeah.
I think at the time they weren't in the Premier League or they had been dropped down
Hmm.
because of losses,
Yeah.
and now I think they're back. That's my Premier League team. The
Okay.
team I actually like though is Inter Milan. You know that.
Okay. Yeah, I saw them play I think once in the Champions League.
Yeah,
They are really good. Is that's the team that Jan Zomer plays for, right?
I'm not sure. I don't pay
Okay.
attention that much to football right now.
He is
I
Jan
I
Zomer.
was into it when Romelu Lukaku was one of their main strikers, but he didn't turn out super well.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a
No,
Belgian guy.
Jan Zomer is probably one of my favorite goalkeepers of all time. Like he's
Yeah, maybe. I don't know who's their goalkeeper. They used to
yeah.
have this like Dutch guy maybe as their goalie. I'm not sure, but
Mhm.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't really pay attention to it now. Most of my exposure to professional football now is through my coworkers who are all
Okay.
Hispanic,
Yeah.
and so they pay attention to the Spanish league, and a
Yeah.
lot of them like Real Madrid, which
Yeah.
annoys me because I like Barcelona.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, unfortunately, like Barcelona is a really amazing team. And I think like they just have so much firepower. Real Madrid also has a lot of firepower, but they've just really been stacking up the injuries this season, so they've been kind of struggling to keep up. And I think a lot of their players are now starting to like hold back because they don't want to get injured because we're getting so close to the end of the season. And
Yeah.
I actually watched them play last night and they won 1-0, but they won with a player that they don't like. The reason they won was they had a player who started out, he's not normally a starter, and he actually doesn't get very many minutes, and I feel like he's so super underrated. But he ended up scoring, I think, in the first half, and then no one else scored
Wow.
throughout the game. Yeah.
Yeah. I yeah, I've been really paying a lot more. I mean, I've been listening to almost every NHL playoff game since the playoff
Nice.
started a few days ago.
Yeah.
That's been my sports obsession. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with soccer, but like I said, Inter's the team I like and sort of follow, but I don't
Mhm.
know even what's going on with
Yeah.
soccer or even my team right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could always watch Football Fridays.
Yeah, I should. That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, we actually like have started like doing research into stuff about it. So anyway,
Yeah.
well, I want to hear about your college experience because
Yes. Well, where do you want me to start?
I don't
The
know.
beginning? Because I had a long journey.
Mom says
I,
the radio DJ thing.
I mean, I get, like I said, mom brought this up because she maybe thinks I have something interesting to say about it. But I mean, I'll tell you the whole story. It'll take about 5 minutes. I guess, I don't know. Maybe there's more to say. But I mean, it was so what it is there's a radio station
Mm,
out of Marshall, North Carolina. I
mm,
don't even know if they're still around, but
mhm,
they're like, I think publicly funded, not 100% sure, maybe
mhm,
somewhat private. I didn't ask any questions about that because I didn't know or care about any of that.
mhm.
But Anyways, and they basically have a lot of free airtime where they don't, when they're not have planned shows. Like lots of people have like their own little show where
Hmm.
they come in for an hour, and it's like basically anybody that has an idea for a show can
Hmm.
go on and have a time slot with this group. They do other stuff too. Like I think they have like a recording studio
Hmm.
and stuff. They do a lot of sound stuff. I'm not 100% sure, and I really don't even remember that much. But I in preparation for this, I went through my emails to see if I could find any information, and
Hmm.
really all I have is like one email from the guy uh, who ran it. But yeah, like we heard about it through the regional studies group, which was there was like a group at Mars Hill University that did regional studies, which is stuff around the area, local history, local studies, that kind of thing. And somebody, I don't remember exactly who, told us that about this like opportunity. Like, you guys could have a radio show and be like DJs. And it wasn't, a job. It was just like
Hmm.
a thing where it was like, okay, well, we have an hour slot Fridays where we can go in and talk into the mic and play music via
Hmm.
turntable or our phones. I
Hmm.
think most of the time we just played stuff through Apple Music on our phones. But it was fun. Like we did it. We probably didn't do more than 6 shows. I'm not
Hmm.
100% sure. I have one like recording because the last one we ever did was less a live radio show and more a podcast
Okay.
with music thrown
Hmm.
in. It was like uh, we recorded it actually after we left Mars Hill
Okay.
and went to and I just sent it over to the guy and he played it. So I don't know how it went, but he told me it was very funny. Um, and what it was, I haven't listened to the whole thing. I just listened to like the first few minutes the other day, and
Hmm.
it was like me and Amelia driving around Wake Forest, just being silly, and like in between that, I put some songs in.
Hmm.
But for the most part, yeah, we just kind of went in there and we talked. I know we gave some shout outs and did some like Mars Hill news stuff,
Hmm.
but not very much. We called it our show was called Modern Lion Radio.
Nice.
Lion because Mars Hill is the mountain lions, I'm pretty sure.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I accidentally knocked my headphone out of my ear, so
Oh,
I
you're good.
missed that last part.
Oh, I just said the name of our show was
Yeah.
Modern Lion Radio.
Hmm.
Um, Lions because Mars Hill's
Yeah.
mascot was the mountain lions,
Hmm.
and modern because that was just kind of what we felt described us really.
Hmm.
Um, Probably had a lot to do with. I'm not exactly sure. It was definitely
Hmm.
a punk thing. It was like,
Yeah.
we kind of had this like punk vibe, but we didn't really fully identify with everything about it. So like the
Hmm.
word modern really like just appealed to us for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So that was what we called it. I mean, it really wasn't like there's no stories really to tell about it. So I don't feel like
Yeah.
it's worth saving for when mom's on the podcast. Like that's basically it. Like we got on there, we
Yeah.
played music that we liked. A lot of the music we played, I don't like anymore. So it's like some of it is a little embarrassing, but
Hmm.
it was fun. It was definitely something
Yeah.
I would like to do again.
Yeah.
But I don't know, not I feel like talking about it, it's really not that interesting. I mean, we didn't do anything
Yeah.
cool. We just
Yeah.
played music and talked, and
Hmm.
it was cool being on the
Yeah.
radio. I will say
Yeah.
something about that, and it being so. So there's this weird thing now where like in a lot of ways anybody can do that now, right? Like you have a
Yeah. Yeah.
podcast, we can make
Exactly.
a podcast, but
Yeah.
something about the limited nature of like
Hmm.
radio and like the
Yeah.
fact that it's like through all these channels makes it
Hmm.
feel more real and official,
Yeah.
even though it being a public radio station, probably 5 people listen to that.
Yeah.
Like nobody really listened to it. Our friends listened to it, tuned in when
Mhm.
we were on there a couple times. So
Yeah.
that was cool. But it's something about like I guess the fact that it's kind of controlled from the top down makes it feel a
Hmm.
little more real, I guess, than
Yeah.
if you're just recording something but for yourself and putting it on the internet. But
Yeah.
on some level, that's like an illusion, right? Like that can't
Yeah.
be real. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
No, it's
it's
yeah.
interesting that our culture doesn't really work that way anymore,
Hmm. Yeah,
or
I
our
know.
media.
It's interesting. Like, I mean, I I
Like
don't know.
people
I
don't
feel like
care about what's on TV, you know?
yeah, I mean, I feel like because I really like having stuff recorded because then I can like fix it in a way that like it doesn't feel like really stupid or awkward. But also I do like live things because then you can see like where people mess up and like where they try to fix
Oh
it and
man,
it's
that's
just
the
really
one. There were a
interesting.
couple times where, yeah, I feel like we had some flubs.
Yeah.
Um, like there was one thing I remember specifically where I was like, I said something wrong, and then Amelia corrected me on the air, and I was like, "Come on, don't make us look stupid."
You know?
I was like,
Yeah.
just go with it. If I mess up, just go with it. Pretend I didn't mess up, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, with when you're recording, it's a lot
Mhm.
easier to cut this thing
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like also, I mean, anything live, because obviously, like, I really do love theater and I love seeing live shows. So like you get to see where there are mistakes. So uh there's this play called The Play That Goes Wrong. Have you heard of this
Mhm.
play?
I feel like maybe you've told me about it. Is it
Yeah.
the one where they change it and mess it up every time?
Yeah, so the point of it is that there are scripted things that go wrong in the play,
Yeah.
right? So we did it at Dean was it my senior year? I think it was. Yeah. In the fall semester. And there were things like I had actually already seen the play in London. So I'd seen it done professionally, and that was the like my first experience with it. So I don't know if there were things that weren't supposed to go wrong that did go wrong because the point is like there are things
Yeah,
that
well, theoretically, nothing
yeah,
can go wrong.
exactly, right? But so there's a part in the play where one of the actors or one of the actresses is supposed to get hit with the door.
Yeah,
Like it's supposed to be open. She's because like in the universe of the play, she's not supposed to be in that spot, and someone opens the door and slams it into her, and she passes out. So
yeah.
when we did it at Dean, a couple scenes before that, the door completely broke off.
Oh,
So
that's
there was
funny.
no door there for that scene, right? So the actor that
So
was
she
supposed
just
to
pantomime
no,
getting not.
even better. And the actor for that scene had to pretend to punch her in the face.
Oh, that's funny. That's
So
funny.
she got like punched in
Yeah,
the
no, that's like a perfect setup for comedy.
yeah.
Because especially if you've seen it before, it gets funnier every time you watch it
Yeah,
because you're specifically
exactly.
like, sorry if I
Yeah.
got darker. I don't know if I got darker, but
I don't think so. I mean, it looks
okay.
fine right
Yeah, it
now.
must just be my computer is my battery might be going. I'm not
Oh
sure.
boy. Yeah.
I'm good for it said I was good for an hour, but
All right. Well, we'll probably be wrapping up soon,
well,
but
yeah, no, it's fine.
yeah.
We're good. I've got if I randomly disappear, it's because my computer died, but
Mhm.
it says I've got an hour left. So
Okay, well, we should be good.
I think we're good.
But yeah, no, I mean, I did learn like when I would do so when I did my stage combat class, I did learn that I actually was pretty good at the comedy aspect.
Right.
I'm not great at improv, but if I'm
Yeah. Well,
as if I'm not doing words, I can do it. Like I had to do an improvised scene in stage combat where I was a mime and we were
uh-huh.
doing like because it was stage combat, right? So we were like hitting each other with stuff and I was taunting like my scene partner as a mime, like no words at all
Oh, that's funny.
spoken. And everyone in my class at least my professor and then like one other person said you like really stole the scene
Oh, that's
because
great.
it was just so comedic like what I was doing, right? But I don't get to do comedy like that and it makes me sad.
Well, maybe you should. Maybe you should write a show where you can.
Yeah, I would love to do something like as long as I don't have to speak, because I can't improvise with words.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah,
Improv is silly. Who needs that?
yeah. No, it's
Um,
really tough.
it's tough and it doesn't seem that fun, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's really It depends. You have to be very naturally funny because a lot of people, I think the issue with improv is that a lot of people who do it are not funny.
Yeah, a
And
lot
I
of I
know
think a lot
that.
of people go into it as like theater kids, thinking they could like
Exactly. And
you know
you can't. You have to
solve
go
it.
into it as a comedian. You can't go into it as a theater kid. And I know that because I went to school with theater kids.
Yeah,
And most of them were not very good at improv.
yeah.
And the one person who I actually thought was really good was someone who was like, I absolutely hate improv. And I was like, I get it. Because I also, it's terrible. But if I do anything with like movement, I am fine.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know anything about that really, but
Mhm.
yeah, a lot of time improv is it's hard to watch because it'll either be really funny or really
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Yeah. If
I
it's
hate
really
watching
bad,
stuff that makes me feel secondhand embarrassment.
yeah, I mean, if it's really bad, it circles back to being really funny.
That's true, and then you can get some confidence from that.
Yeah,
But
it has to be so epically bad though that it's
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, a show like The Play That Goes Wrong, it does kind of inspire improv, but the guys who wrote it, I think were actually professional comedians. I don't think they
Mhm.
were like
Interesting.
actors. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But yeah, no, it's it's really funny.
Good. All right. Yeah. Huh. That sounds I don't know. I would like to watch a performance of that. That would be fun.
Yeah. I know
Er,
you can they because the group that wrote it, they had like a series called The Show That Goes Wrong. I think you can look it up on
I'll do
YouTube.
that. It reminds me of this thing I saw in high school that like
Mhm.
my high school theater group did. I saw this because I was there at Odyssey of the
Mhm.
Mind at what is
Oh
that?
yeah, I did Odyssey of the Mind when I was
Yeah, the
in
those were
elementary school.
fun to watch. I was like
Yeah.
vaguely a part of it. I like
Hmm.
snuck on the bus to go to Odyssey of the Mind. Um, it was what is that school in Raleigh that used to be a girls only school, now it's not.
Meredith,
Meredith,
I
yeah, it was at
think.
Meredith
Yeah.
College campus, I think. And they did a show called like The Rules of Comedy, and it was
Okay.
kind of like it was literally about the rules of
Hmm.
comedy and showing
Yeah.
like all these things. It was kind of funny.
Hmm.
Um, they did a cool thing with the set where they had these three triangle like things that flipped around, so each side was a
Yeah.
different thing, and
Yeah. Yeah.
three different set backgrounds
Yeah.
basically. Uh, would it be okay if we paused and I go to the bathroom real quick?
Well, we can actually wrap it up because it's already like over an hour long, I think.
Okay.
So,
How do you think this? Oh,
yeah.
Blue Jay. Hi, Blue Jay.
But you are always welcome to come back on the
Yeah,
podcast
this
at
was
some
fun. I'd like to
point.
do it again.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
I feel
this
like we
is
have a good like just riffing
yeah.
kind of.
Yeah. I know.
This
I
is fun.
actually I really like that. I mean, I like having a topic, but I think, it's fun to
I
just
think
like
it's
riff
fun
off
to
a little
just
bit.
kind of just go.
We'll be back next week with a new bottle of wine and a new topic. If you want to join the conversation, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Wine Together Pod. Join our Facebook group, Wine Together Podcast. And if you don't want to miss out on our regular weekly episodes, along with all our bonus content, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts, as well as subscribing, liking, and commenting on our YouTube, Wine Together Podcast.